Hi fashionistas, it's Nicole of Nicole Rachel personal stylist to women executives and pageant contestants. And today I'm going to be breaking down the 2025 pageant fashion trends to leave behind in 2025 and not carry over with you in 2026. And if you're a pageant contestant and could use some help in the area of wardrobe for your next pageant, don't be afraid to hit me up. I will include the link to my website in the description. So without further ado, here is my list of trends that I thought were overly done in 2025 and are just straight up outdated and that you shouldn't carry over into 2026. And these are in no particular order. First is fringe dresses. I saw these a lot on pageant runways, and don't get me wrong, if they're done right and tastefully, then they definitely can make your dress pop and stand out on stage and make it look like you have very fluid movements. However, that oftentimes was not the case. I often saw dresses that had way too much fringe on them to the point where it looked like you were a car wash. So avoid overly fringed dresses and make sure that if you do want to rock fringe, you do so where it's bare minimum. It's just enough to give the dress that pizzazz that it needs to really stand out on the pageant stage. Illusion gowns. These were huge last year. And I'm not a big fan of the illusion gown due to the fact that you can see right straight through them. To me, that's just not tasteful and classy. And if you want to rock like a metallic or nude gown, just make sure that we can't see your undergarments. There's a way to style yourself and rock a lot of these trends without looking trashy. So I wasn't fond of those, and I don't want to see them again in 2026. Hopefully we see it replaced by something that's a little bit more classy and elegant and fitting of a pageant queen. Rocking the same hairstyle. And I know this can be a rookie mistake, and even for some who are pageant veterans that have done this for a while, they might fall into the habit of feeling like they have to look a certain way in order to fit in and win. However, every hairstyle is not for every person, every face shape. I get that the big soft curls or big soft waves are in, but just because a hairstyle is trendy does not necessarily mean that it will look good on you and that it'll really enhance your facial structure. Making sure that you're in tune with a hairstyle that really brings out the best of your facial features. And it may or may not be the super soft curls or waves. It could be something else, but just making sure that you know what's really going to look good on you. And it might not necessarily be a style that everybody else is rocking, but it could still make you stand out because it's your signature look and one that we don't necessarily see all the time. So just being in tune with that. I mean, I kept seeing the same hairstyles over and over again, and I get it. You know, there's trends with hairstyles, they come and go, and some of these hairstyles do genuinely look good on a lot of contestants, but some of them don't. And I feel like those contestants have not yet discovered what really works for them. So really getting in tune with you and what works for your facial structure when it comes to hair. Overly beaded and embellish gowns. Another trend I saw a lot last year. And mind you, beads and embellishments, when done right, definitely dazzle and dance beautifully underneath stage lighting and help to make you look very fluid when you move, and they help you to really stand out and radiate on stage. However, when they're overly done, they have the tendency to make your gown look very heavy and to make your walk look heavy. You want to make sure that when you're choosing a gown, especially when it's heavily embellished, that it's not, really obstructing your movement and making it look like you're having trouble moving and you're stiff and that the gown itself is heavy. So just finding that balance, even if that means it not being beaded up and down, maybe just the top portion is beaded and the bottom is made out of a lighter material like silk or a mesh material. but just making sure that you don't look like you're wearing a 50-pound gown and people can tell. On that same note, wearing accessories like boas or opera coats or trains that are way too much and that are clashing with your gown and really eating up your gown, taking away from it, because all the attention is on all this fine detail that you have on your, what should be an accessory that should enhance your gown, but instead it's stealing the show. I saw that quite a bit too. So I get that you want to enhance your gown, and in some cases, if you're wearing a gown that does look heavy, it's heavily beaded, you want to wear something that's very light and will make your movements look light and your overall look more fluid. However, making sure that it's not taking away from your gown with too much embellishments or too many. So I had to narrate this part because my video kept messing up when I tried to edit this part of the video. It kept freezing. So my last and final trend that came from 2025 that I don't want to see repeated in 2026 is, you guessed it, high splits. Now, I'm not against splits. I just don't like real high splits because they can expose your undergarments if you take one wrong misstep. And that's just not a good look for the pageant stage. So please comment below. Let me know what trends you won't miss seeing in 2026 from 2025. And also make sure to like and subscribe to my channel so you won't miss an episode if you like this kind of content. With that, thanks for watching, and I will talk to you all later.